girl, I be feeling this love. Even when I'm down, you wonder waiting this up. It's not blessing, I'ma no be luck. Baby, nobody feel day like you. I said nobody feel make me feel the way you do. I'ma get that low. Girl, you the best I know. Our next move, they never know. They never know. Money go check low. Girl, you the best I know. Our next move, they never know. They never know. They never know. They never know. My lady, you know me no forgive up on you never. Wanna be with you forever, 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 forever. Oh baby, where we they go? Now forward ever, backward never. Them they pray make we run down never, 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 never. I'ma get that low. Girl, you the best I know. Our next move, they never know. They never know. Money go check low. Girl, you the best I know. Our next move, they never know. They never know. They never know. They never know. Without you, baby, the journey go too rough. So you know, girl, I be feeling this love. Even when I'm down, you wonder waiting this up. It's not blessing, I'ma no be luck. Baby, nobody feel day like you. I said nobody feel make me feel the way you do. I'ma get that low. Girl, you the best I know. Our next move, they never know. They never know. Money go check low. Girl, you the best I know. Our next move, they never know. They never know. They never know. They never know.
Check 1 2. Hi everybody, there we go. Welcome. We're back here on the Hohner YouTube channel, and this is another Hohner Live. This is episode 120. It's not our 120th guest, but I think we're getting close to 100 guests, which is pretty cool. 100 harmonica players worldwide. And I'm excited about today. We got a lot of streams coming within the next few days, and today, maybe you can see them already, we're gonna talk a lot about amps and microphones and stuff. And our guest here is Poor Relighter, so please Give him a big hand in the chat. Nice to
How we
have
doing,
you on
folks?
today.
Happy to be here. As I told you before, I pulled it all out of my hat getting this all wired and detailed for this afternoon. So thank you for having me.
Oh yeah. Now you got a good setup running with the audio interface and stuff.
Yeah, I think I might know a thing or two about microphones, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. That's cool. People are tuning in. Boaz is tuning in. Yeah, we talked to
There he
him during
is.
the last... Was it the last stream? I think so. Yeah, tuning in from Pennsylvania. Where are you right now? Can you tell the audience?
I am in Costa Mesa, beautiful, sunny, Southern California.
Yeah. We also got some sunny days, but it's gonna get super dark and super cloudy and windy and wet here in winter.
I got a whole coat and boot collection I haven't used in 5 years living in Southern California, so I'll take the seasons back as soon as y'all can give them.
Yeah, and you're wearing the Hohner beanie, right?
Yeah, I found this on eBay for a couple bucks, and I just could not believe my eyes.
On eBay, that's crazy. Because, like, I was like, did Hohner ever produce something like this?
Yeah, I guess at one point they must have, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of it, but like I told you, it's so hot down here. I don't think I can keep that beanie on the entire show.
I wish I
Already
had, like,
sweat.
more Hohner clothing, actually.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm actually happy to wear that stuff.
Yeah, well, they got some of it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe we both, after the call, we check the website, do a little shopping, you know?
Nice. So, first of all, I mean, last minute we kind of changed, like, the thumbnail. Can you tell the audience the story behind your name, Poor Elijah? Like, what inspired you to choose it, like your stage name?
Right. Well, I appreciate you asking that. Let me see here. Well, my name is Elijah Peters, and my mother had a big influence on the music that I was able to get my hands on growing up, and Delaney and Bonnie were a staple in that. So Poor Elijah just was kind of a joke around the house, and with older guys around the neighborhood, anytime I had a coach or any kind of old timer, they always said, "Poor Elijah living on the byway," and it drove me nuts, you know, after a while. But I eventually landed on the name just because I had been trying a different stage moniker for a little while that just didn't feel authentic to myself, and it didn't feel right. Poor Elijah, there was a soccer coach, this Greek guy named Gus. There was this coffee shop I used to sit at, and he would come in and get his coffee, and every single time Gus walked past, he would sing Poor Elijah, and it had me pulling my hair out until that's eventually what he started calling me. And so I don't know, I guess that old Greek soccer coach named Gus named me Poor Elijah enough to, maybe I should try that, because it feels right when he would call me that versus when I was trying this other stage moniker that I would call myself, and it didn't feel like my own name, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know, people gift you things like that, and years later, if you put the time in to look back, you know, there's gems like that. So I'm glad I remembered Gus well enough to decide that, you know what, that was one of those times where it felt like using this stage name, you know, actually felt right. So
Yeah, it's pretty cool to have a stage name. I mean, I wish I would have one. I feel like it was more common back in the days, and nowadays everybody's just like going with their actual name.
I mean, Konstantin Reinfeld, I mean, come on, dude. You don't need a stage name with that. That is the stage name. For me, Elijah
Sure.
Peters just didn't have, I'm just so full of it, like I had to put somebody else's name on it. Elijah Peters pays taxes. Poor Elijah is a songwriter. So.
Yeah. What would you say, which musicians or harmonica players influenced your style the most?
First, Mickey Raphael.
Okay.
And then this guy. We all know, there's a fabulous artist in Argentina named Maurito Bruno, who does these kind of... I'm going to go grab a painting for you off my wall if that's all right, too. But he does these fabulous airbrush paintings. Just give me one moment. I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this is a big Will Clark household. We blow like hell around here.
Yeah, so, I mean, William Clark definitely was an inspiration for me too. Like all the third position playing.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of the first, like, my very first lessons, my very first online lessons. I think I had them with Ben Bouwman from the Netherlands, and like he gave me like this DVD with like hundreds of songs. And it opened up, like the DVD, it opened up with William Clark playing some third position stuff, and like, which with his huge tone, and that was very mesmerizing, you know?
Now that's a good move. You got 100 harmonica players to listen to. You should probably put Will first. He'll make you listen to the rest of them. That guy had a way of doing something else with it, almost like while he's playing the harmonica, he's doing, look at this other thing you can do. And you're like, well, it's hard to put into words what Will did. With Will, you know, came the microphones, came the pressure bleeding,
yeah,
came proximity effect, came this monster, you know.
Oh, yeah. Like
the ways that he would just force the harmonica to sound different through an amplifier is like, yeah, I heard that, and you know, for me, I don't have time. It feels like I'm so scatterbrained. I don't have time to sucker myself into anything. I don't have time to lose time. And the first time I heard William Clark, I think it was Best of the Best, is this the Red album cover, and then I got Tip of the Top. And when I finally heard Live in Germany, if any of you have never heard William Clark live in Germany, you're in the wrong place now. Go listen to that wherever you can get it, because that'll change your life. Especially the third position work there too. The way Will played chromatic and diatonic was for two stark, raving different instruments. The way that he was able to do that. Hey, look at this other thing you can do with the harmonica, which is just be wild. He just allows you to, if that's what you want to do, if you want it to be a noisemaker, Will made sure we can go do that. You know, we can do that now because of him, you know?
Yeah, that's very true. So, was he actually the first harmonica player you ever heard, or was it Mickey?
No, the first harmonica player I ever heard was probably, would it have been, it could have been Carrie Bell playing with Lightning, or Billy Branch. It would have been a handful of guys. The only one that stuck out, though, is John Popper.
Okay.
I was in Schlotsky's Deli in like 2003 with my mom and heard Runaround probably, or something, just whatever Blues Traveler was, and it was everywhere still, like up until like you could hear Blues Traveler playing the same classics playing in different gas stations around and sandwich shops and wherever, up until like, you know, real mainstream trap and the super fun stuff just ate all the radio. But you know, John Popper was the first one I heard with that effect of look at this other thing you can do. And I think that the best, just like Sonny Terry, hooping and hollering, and you know, the same way Jerry Fierro carries that and does that in the middle of a 8-bar, you know, on a Wednesday night in Naples. Like the same, hey, look at this thing. It's just the way that these big dogs were crazy enough to get out in front of everybody and do their thing, and now we got a niche, now we got a genre that we can kind of categorize that person. We go, oh, that's some big Walter Horton right there, that big old open, echoey, honky sound. Or you got the laser beam sound coming out of William Clark, or you have call and response, like different candor and timbre to every approach Mickey's taken to the same songs he's been playing for a million years with Willie. I think the dynamics and the things that we admire most about the harmonica players we love is that you have to be unapologetically yourself to want to do this, you know, because the world doesn't make it easy, and the instrument itself doesn't make it easy.
Yeah.
So
what are some things you don't like about the harmonica?
What do I not like about the harmonica? Nothing. I mean, when they start fighting back, it gives me a reason to work on them. That's catharsis and practice and patience and things like that. It's just another discipline for me. There's nothing in a discipline that I would choose that I would recant on. There are no negatives to the harmonica. It's one of the few facets in my life that is just entirely free of the BS, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure it's not like you don't know what I'm talking about, but it's like we found our thing, because our harmonica players not aggressively harmonica players. I'm just saying, I've never met a more singularly devoted group of people. Like, my community is very new to me. Like, this is like we're speaking for the first time, or I think we've spoken in just a few times, just in passing, hello or whatever on the internet, a comment here and there. But
yeah,
the level at which we're able to interact because we are harmonica players, I feel like I've known you for 10 years. You know?
It's a crazy instrument, yeah. Boaz
Yeah,
has loved the philosophy. He also asks, what's your preferred microphone setup for distortion playing?
My preferred microphone setup is entirely complementary to the amp that it's going through. So there's a couple things, but I like the Black Label CRs, but I've got this Boaz knows way too well. We have the same 99G White Label CR. It's a 54 on the head, right? And it's just, hey, some of the first White Label CRs ever, you know? So, you know, I like a White Label CR through a dual 6v6 amp. Bias dependent, yeah. But yeah. So, I mean, we got a couple here. I've got Connor Moore over at Moore Analog is my technician. And I get these crazy ideas of half brown face or Princeton or half this and that or whatever, and he goes, okay, well, maybe what about this part of the Princeton and this part of like a brown face deluxe, and we'll do, you know, this cathode bias and all these things, where he knows me and my vocabulary enough to know my approach and tone. It's kind of the same thing. I attempt to be methodical and practical and just no logic breaks. So in the same regard, we wouldn't want like an overly hot bias for a harp amp. You know, we don't want something that we're already running floored for the sake of flooring it, you know. I would say my setup is I change a Pro Junior out from EL84s to 6v6 with a couple complementary mods to that, and then I pump a White Label White Label CR through it, and if you can help it on a Fender amp, to get it in there with a negative feedback switch. I've actually got one on if you want to hear it. I got the attenuator out.
Yeah, so everybody wants to hear something.
So it won't hurt us. So I got a White Label CR in this guy here. And we can see if this guy. Check. Yeah, let me see. Do I have any harmonicas? What happened to all the... I got my little spotlight out, so I couldn't see over it. But... Is that painful? Is that good?
That's good, yeah.
as far as any kind of stepping on it and going, it's nice that, you know, the attenuator I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So just having little things like that, like as a harp player, I don't want to have to go all the way down to 12AU7 anytime I'm using an amp. And for a while in my harp case, I was packing preamp tubes, octal, and, you know, I was bringing tubes with me if I was backlining so I could drop some gain and help myself out a little bit, because good guitar players, I mean, you don't want to run up to a Vox like AC 130, big old giant tube amp and just run 100% gain on it with a high output mic. And if you're not privy, if you're not geared up, maybe I think it took us all a while to get good microphones, and whether or not we liked volume control and if we wanted to implement that into the signal chain. But after a while, I just started getting into the notion of I need to get some of this figured out myself, because none of the stuff I have right now is working at all, and none of the stuff anyone else has anywhere in the world works for this. What is going on? So I was liking the tone I was getting out of this Pro Junior stock. I just eventually came across a couple guitar players with tone that I wanted as a harmonica player. And a couple of those guys were just kind of running 5E3 Tweed Deluxe all the way up. You dime both of them. It makes the neck, plenty of attack on the neck pickup as well, and it makes the bridge absolutely glass and ear-splittingly just the cut. So I knew I liked the distortion out of a Fender circuit, so I wanted to go that direction. Pro Junior was all I could afford. I wouldn't have started with this as the richest man in the world, but if I become the richest man in the world, I'll start a series, an entire line of these amps modded this way for harp players, because it's just fun. Outside of whatever kind of, you know, amplifiers were available, boutique or otherwise, I didn't have the money, and I just slowly started making changes to what I had here and what I had back there. And little tiny things like making sure you got a good gasket. Thank you, Jeffrey Spoor. I love you. A volume control that doesn't hiss, you know. James K., thank you so much. You make the best VCs I ever used.
Yeah.
And not to mention, you know, each part of the amplifier is going to either add or subtract to the end process. So I was getting a huge nasal factor out of everything I tried through this amp. And online I read that I could possibly swap the EL84s for 6V6 with a bias. So I just monkey see, monkey do, clipped one resistor out, dropped another leg in, biased it, put a negative feedback switch in, which effectively doesn't do anything after the 7, which I'm past. But I'll turn the negative feedback switch off when I'm up that high to tighten it up and clean it up a little bit. And then if I want more out of the amp sooner, I negative feedback switch. But I'll just take anything I can get my hands on and slowly try and work it into something that works for what we do. And I know I wasn't really playing much. I'm not just going to drop something good here. I do good under fire.
Yeah.
But for examples of tone, you can hear how throaty it got, right? And that's just the 6V6, negative feedback. And not to mention, I put a 5E3 Tweed Deluxe output transformer in here. So a bigger, healthier iron to send the signal out with a big old deluxe reverb speaker. Good to go.
Yeah. There's a question about
Lots of
Boas.
stuff.
Which attenuator? I have the Lone Wolf Mojo Pad.
I made mine. I got a big old, I think I got like a 100-watt, just something stupid, big old wound coil attenuator, and I just dropped it in a box enclosure, you know, just so I kind of made it to match the Filmo sound at first, because this big old bear, you can imagine, I mean, it's only 15 watts, same as the Pro Junior, 15 watts, but the gain structures just go wild. And an attenuator is, it's not necessary at all, but because I don't hear it anymore. It can't hurt me. I'm safe. The scar tissue over my eardrums, I'm good, man. But maybe for the sake of other people, trying to give them an example, I'll keep an attenuator around just so I don't have to scare people. Like my example of like, it's good distortion is, can I play another thing here? Can I play another lick for you?
Oh yeah, okay.
Let me see if I hope I didn't fix all the... So, bleeding. You know, and those big... Oh, wow. So, and I think Will's got that draw 3, draw 7 kind of deal. That. So all the bleeding and things you can, it's just an effect. It's just like, I think the first trick of his any of us are going to learn or did learn is the... You know, that...
Okay.
The monkeys at the zoo. All those crashes and bleeding and it just sounds like he's got his harp in a headlock and he's just giving it uppercuts. Like I never heard anybody, and you know, my life has been what it's been and my experiences have been what they have, and it wasn't always sunshine and rainbows. I'm self-taught. Music is something that has never really put money in my pockets, but only kept me going, only kept the lights on up here and in here. And to hear somebody working from a place of, I'm just going to say it, outright rage, made me feel like there was a safe place for me to figure some things out for my ear and just for myself. Because the catharsis of, because I got the 410, who doesn't, you know, twin 12, whatever. Taking something big and bad out and letting off like that and seeing people in the crowd losing their minds at something you may not be positive up here that you're thinking about while you're just letting it rip. It sounds like you got the entire Appalachian mountain range in a blender, you know, up there, and for whatever reason a couple of guys in the crowd are just loving it. It has to be the same effect of following the ones that are truest to themselves allow you to become true to yourself.
Yeah, so how about people who just want to get into amplified playing? Like they've been playing some harmonica for a while, but now they want to get an amp or a microphone and both, and like what should they do? Like what should they get? Like where can they find some good resources?
Right. Okay, so Ben, if you're watching this is my student Ben. Ben, if you're watching this, I want my HP52 back. The HP52 is a solid microphone. I'm a big fan of those. I expressly wanted to have mine for this today, but like I said, students come to your house and play with your stuff sometimes, you know. So I would say the HP52 is a perfect introductory microphone. It's durable. You can loosen the little Allen screw on the back of that knob, scoot it off a little bit. Smoothest taper you've ever felt in your life. You could adjust it with the tip of your pinky while you're playing. It's a dynamic. It's a classic dynamic element encapsulated in a little housing. Like I think on the box or on the directions or maybe somewhere in the paper of the HB52, it's like as long as you don't submerge this in boiling water, this microphone should last you a pretty super long time. So I'd say the HB52 is the best introductory mic right off the bat, and I love the hammer tone cast and just the way it feels in the hand. It's small, which is what everybody's looking for typically. Everybody says, you know, the green bullet doesn't fit in my hand and all that stuff, but if you start with something small and you learn how to hold it, start from this as the idea rather than that is the idea,
yeah.
You're supporting something, not choking it to death,
Yeah.
then you'll be all right. But for an amplifier, I would say you get what you pay for. So you can start my way. You can go the Pro Junior way and mod it. You could go an old 5-watt Silvertone. I wouldn't go any kind of lap steel tube guitar right off the bat unless you're a seasoned pro, because you may have to do a couple adjustments here and there for that to be voiced properly. And a Class A circuit tends to be very bassy. So I would stick to 15 watts and under. Go Pro Junior, go Blues Junior, go Big Sur if you need to. Just get something nice. Because at the end of the day, nice tube amps are easier to work on than cheap due to the amount of PCB board in the cheaper amplifiers. So the Pro Junior is PCB, but the immediate mods are just work around the circuit board. I mean, the bias doesn't, but you know, the negative feedback switch does, and the output transformer and power transformer and all those things. I mean, they're just, you can open them up, or actually, I'm not going to recommend anybody work on a tube amp. You take that to a licensed professional. There you go. But the idea to work on something should be omnipresent. You should always be looking for small complementary adjustments to what is immediately present and what can be immediately stocked and taken stock of.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, Marcos is in the chat. What's up, what's up? Just joined and I hear you talking about machines. Haha. Raw harmonica effect. That's my Bible now.
Okay.
Not carrying amps anymore thanks to those pedals.
Yeah, I understand that. I just, I'm a tradesman. I've always been blue collar. I come from a long line of farmers. If I'm not holding something heavy, I float away. So I need something to keep me grounded. I love the way they look too. I mean, this little guy, I moved around a little bit, but when I got this amp, it was not this cool of a tweed. It didn't have one of Paul Butterfield's telegrams on it. It didn't have my buddy's dad's punk rock show tickets from the 80s on it. And it didn't have this cool caution lasers in use thing on it. And it also didn't sound like this. It didn't have TV stands because I'm old, tradesman,
Yeah.
my back hurts. Jewel light, this is one of the curtain motor lenses from the Newport Theater that I did a system changeover at. The dog bone switch up here on top of the amp is part of the theater that I worked at. The GE 5-star 6005 tubes here out of the curtain motor, and I mean, it's just another form of art. It's like I'll work on an amp the same way I'll write a song. I'll just come visit it and touch it up here and there. It's just all extensions of things that bring me peace. So to work so hard on this amplifier, or maybe not that hard at all, who knows? Maybe it's easier if you're educated on this stuff, but I have no idea what I'm doing. I follow my heart on it, and it works out really well. When I put time into things that I absolutely love and cannot stop thinking about, why would I ever leave that in the house? And it's not something that's, oh, it's super nice, I got to protect it. I won't fail fast. I need to get out there and light this thing on fire if it's gonna, and I'd rather it happen big and loud than,
Yeah.
and on a stage that's insured than my dusty apartment. So I don't know, it's a labor of love, but it's the premise of building. I mean, I build all my own harps. I build all my own mics. I mean, if Mogami didn't do such a good job, I'd be making my own cables still, you know, which I thanks to them, I just don't have to worry about that anymore because their stuff holds up. So that's another thing. You get what you pay for. It's like, I don't think I'm not intrinsically a better instrument player because of the cable I'm using, but if it cuts out when we go like that, that could throw my head out of my musical train of thought, and that's just something you can't have happen, you know. It's all got to be tight and reliable, and the only way to do that is through testing, and I'm the test dummy.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I think Marcos is also playing the HB52, and I think both of us were actually part of like the prototype tests. We did that here,
cool.
close to Hamburg. But they never sent me an HP52.
Well, this is a call now.
Yeah, exactly. Marcos
Well,
also says, not carrying amps anymore. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I also love those amps. Hell yeah, but at my age, I have to take care of my back. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I understand. I'm burning the candle at both ends. I'm building them day and night, harmonicas or amplifiers, chromatics, well, weird little microphones. Like, I don't know, like I can't not work on this stuff.
Yeah.
I wish I could be normal and be like, I'm going to go get a job somewhere and whatever. I would never contribute actually to society that way though. That's like the one thing I learned is like this way, I'm constantly on the phone with somebody. If it's any of the younger guys, I'm like, hey man, listen, like start working on your harps now. Because, like, one, I'm going to be old one day, and two, like, the relationship you form with music on an instrument that you worked on is much more personal and much more possible. It's much more possible when you maintain your own instruments, because some of the, as we know, in the harmonica niche is the overblow. And it's just like, it's like we don't even want to use them, we just want to get them. And, okay, well, if you sit there and you work this thing to pieces, you got your reed plates apart and you're sitting like a cocktail shrimp for 9 hours straight working on this thing, and then you pick it up and you don't overblow, what are you going to do? You're going to try harder. You're going to either go back through the means of mechanically finding the problem or physically finding the problem here in embouchure. So it just opens pathways. That's just the way the brain works. It's just your brain is going to fall into that momentum. So I often encourage younger guys, hey, as much as I'd love to bleed you dry and charge you $100 a harmonica, how about you just like, here's this Amazon link to a little toolkit and just give it a shot. You know, it saves you a ton of money, and the only thing you lose maybe is like what, one harp, and then you decide, okay, I'm not that good at this, and we'll help you figure it out anyways.
Yeah.
But if I were just off doing anything but a harmonica player, I'd be so stressed out and grumpy all the time. I wouldn't be part of my community half as much as I like to think I am with this one. So
that makes sense. So is there, you got a particular key of harmonica that you like playing, or do you also play alternate tunings sometimes?
I like a low B flat double reed plate a lot. And I like them through, and I'm the worst neighbor. I really am the worst neighbor, but I like to just sit here and see what sparkles we're getting out of what turn of the dial. And kind of the way the amplifiers respond to hand action, and different amplifiers giving, you know, with different turn of the dial on tone or where you're at in volume and what sounds we're getting. I like a B flat to mess around with all of that stuff. And acoustic too. I mean, I don't know how well we can really see here, but you know, they're just big bad dogs. I had this actually on I had it on a stainless steel comb, but that Tom Halchick made and my friend Owen gave me, and man, I found that stainless steel comb is so useful for working brass. I don't very often keep it in a harmonica build. I use it to flatten reed plates. So it's interesting how I love playing that stainless steel comb, but I can't help using it as a tool sometimes. But the low B flat. Feels as good working here, and I don't care what it sounds like to anyone else. Obviously, I'm an amplified player. It's like if I cared what other people were hearing, I wouldn't do this at all, because you can't get to anything you like without exciting or bothering other people. It's one or the other, because there's no stagnant reaction to this. It's too loud. It's too much, you know. And it's weird too, because we're used to hearing harmonica amplified by now, but like even now we forget about these Thunderbirds. The Thunderbirds are my favorite harmonica in the world. Yeah. If there's a line, like I'm an all 1896 guy for my work. Like what I do for work is you know, call and response stuff, like kind of like what Jake Groves is out there doing with Coulter Wall and what Mickey does for Willie Nelson. And I do that with Gethin Jenkins, but periodically he'll have me bullet up. You know, some of the outlaw guys, bikers, love amplified harmonica. But for, I guess, tickling the harmonica nerd brain nerve is, I just cannot fathom. My brain just goes, this shouldn't be possible out of a harmonica this small. To be this low and sound, you know, as good as they do. I mean, obviously, I think the Rocket Low is a ton of fun through a microphone. Yeah. And everything for obvious purposes, for, you know, just the delivery. But like you can get like on a low tuned harp. How about this? What is it? Mary! Whatever. It's just a different vein of things that your brain will take you to. I'll try to play every harp lick in the book if I pick up G to D. But if I pick up a Rocket, I just start playing different stuff. And that's just the same reason I like the Pentaharp, is I just started playing different stuff. And it's like, I love whatever you got, I'll take it. Because like I said, I'm going to love it until it hopefully doesn't catch on fire, right? These haven't caught on fire yet, but we'll see.
So, playing on stage and like improvising, do you have like any approach to improvisation?
No. I could use some, bud. No, I guess I follow the singer. Hopefully you got a singer, and if you are the singer, and I think we can all agree, like, improvisation is not always a conscious decision. It's usually a momentous drive, and you're often swept away with those improvisations. But honestly, I'm just going to say it based on what the drummer's changing. Your hits are different. Your entire stance is going to be different. So I think from one thing to the next, the environment on stage dictates what that improvisation is. So I have no way to tell you until the next time it happens, you know?
Nice, yeah. But like, what do you tell your students about improvisation then, if they start to get into that stuff?
Okay, yeah. Well, it depends on what is immediately in your scope. So what has been the scope? Like, have we been doing triplets lately? Like, let's say for the sake of conversation that we've been doing a lot of rhythm work as teacher and student. And then if the opportunity presents itself, there's plenty of things to do rhythmically that'll fill a solo section. So why are you jumping to triplets that you don't practice, right? So it's just staying within a scope and trusting that your natural ability is good enough. Like the natural things that you will that fall out, those are often the best things rather than forcing yourself to jump a hurdle that you've never tried in front of people for the first time, you know? Just don't, the stage is not always, it very often is, when you've been doing it for years, absolutely, go nuts, Chick Corea, write a new, change everything on the spot. But from a beginning standpoint, trust yourself and trust what you know and compound on what you know, not what you're trying to learn.
Nice, yeah. Yeah, Michael is in the chat. Listening to Elijah is therapeutic. Honestly,
Thanks, buddy.
I just had a therapy session without booking one. Having Marcos and Boris in the chat is a jackpot as well. Yeah, Gregory's in the chat. You got the low B flat handy? Oh yeah, yeah, you just played it.
Yeah,
right.
The low B flat. Yeah, low B flat. And I think I got this mic facing the other way. I'm gonna put this right here. Yeah, actually, that Nirvana sounds real cool and crunchy on the double reed plate acoustic. So, you know. You know, and I think it still goes kind of fast. It still does the air guitar thing, like. You know, I think, yeah, I don't know about, I don't even think, I wouldn't even want to do that on this. It just makes me want to do.
Exactly.
It's kind of like after a while, like, you just realize how there's like songwriters. And like, how have I never heard of this guy? And it's like, well, the only reason you're enjoying his work and his music is because you are a songwriter. And he's not hitting you with filler. He's not dangling keys in front of your face. He's just honestly being a songwriter. And what we really like about harmonicas is when they just do the thing well without interrupting themselves. And building this B flat, this low B flat out, this is my favorite thing that doesn't interrupt itself. Like I said, like it's a rhythmic instrument for me. And a little tongue blocky, and I like the weird octaves. And how weird the blow bends are on a low tuned harp and all those things that are just fun intrinsic qualities of the instrument. You gotta let each harp be itself. Like I won't play a low F every day, but that's not to say I don't have like 20 of them hidden around the house for emergency situations when I gotta let the neighbors know something's up, you know? It's just, each harp has its own intrinsic qualities, and I think the Thunderbirds are just like weirdly like, they make harmonica players do stuff they don't normally do. It's so cool. Very cool about this instrument.
Yeah. How about like stuff like besides the blues genre? Like, is there anything far out that you did? Like any collaboration with like any weird genre artist or like a recording session?
I was just on the phone with my buddy Rory. I used to be in a psychedelia band.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And all the things that come, all the psychedelic trappings that come with being in a psychedelic band. And we traveled around, mainly the market for that is here on the West Coast, and it goes from my town to Seattle and back, and that's about it. That's about as psychedelic as it gets. And the New York has its own psych scene going on too, but that's all the way over there. Over here, it was a great, being in a psychedelia band was a great history lesson on the free love movement. I got to spend a lot of time in San Francisco and with some old heads up there, and old Ken Casey guys, Deadheads, and the Haight Ashbury and Mission District and Gotham City and all of it. And the San Francisco musicians, were the first guys to really, the psychedelic guys were the first ones to show me community. And they weren't weird about me playing the harmonica with a wah pedal through a solid state amp with way too much reverb. And I think it was, and I guarantee it was a 520DX, you know, just killing, you know. And I don't know, the psychedelic thing was cool because I think the way it kind of runs around that third position stuff, it's good to have like a harmonic minor harp laying around, or, you know, be at least a little familiar with microtonal bends and raja and things like that. So it expands the scope of, you know, what you think you know, and then taking everything you think you know and trying to use it in one given setting and just not being able to. So you got to come up with something else. And that kind of goes back to improvising. It's like there's improvising, but then there's just trying to figure it out, you know? I think the two were separate, but I guess I had to do a lot of guesswork to eventually figure out how to play, like, I don't know, here, this is like just along the premise of like the that kind of stuff. And and how we can apply those minor scales outside of a regular use of third position, because that's not your stock third. That's whatever it is, because I'm not studied enough to comment on it. But I did the psychedelic thing for a while, and I think that's about as far out as I get. But I did a lot of traveling up and down the West Coast with that in a band called Creatures Choir. That's Creatures Possessive Choir. You should check them out on Spotify. They're far out. And Rory Blackwater, the guitar player and singer, is just a brilliant man, dear friend of mine.
Yeah. You ever tried playing some trap music? Because we got like this monthly thing going on Twitch with like different genres and like topics for like harmonica challenges. And like next up on Sunday is trap.
Okay. No, I haven't. And it was so funny. I just got to meet a musician recently, and we were just shooting the breeze over music, and I had a guitar with me, so it was pretty easy. You know, I got this big old Gibson Jumbo with me. It's pretty easy to point out what I do on that, whatever. And I asked him, so, you know, what are you doing? He's like, oh, this is it. And the music we were listening to was actually his music, and it was popping, dude. I started cracking up. I was having a ball. I was like listening to him talking. I'm just sitting there like, yeah, right. You know, just vibing, like trying to hold it in. And I'm like, dude, this is you. And I mentioned to him, he's like, yeah, if you'd ever want to collab or whatever. And honestly, when it comes to mine, like, I don't know about trap because it's fast, but the only person that comes to mind when I think harmonica rap music is Brandon Bailey. Brandon has got R&B feel. Like, I was just asking him to teach me a couple things over the phone the other day. So I could give it a shot, but I've never tried playing to trap music.
Yeah. I'm excited about some of the submissions. We got some good stuff. We got some players doing like some scratching with effect pedals and stuff. Playing harmonica and doing that. Like,
no
cool.
way. Dude, that is too... So, like, on an actual DJ console?
No, it's like just like a one knob kind of pedal, like big knob, whatever. I don't know what he was using.
Oh my god, okay, that's rad.
But
yeah, I gotta see that.
He really checked it out. It was pretty tight rhythmically, like.
That's what's up. That's what I'm saying. Like, harmonica players can do all of it. It's just like, it's already such a hurdle to play music on this thing anyways. Like, it's not an easy instrument to learn. And I think the coolest thing that shines through all of it is that every human being can bring individualism to it, like we've never seen before. Because every human being is a thumbprint, is unique, and is different, and is right in their own right. So I love hearing people express and do things like that. Like, this guy's getting down on this knob, like probably making it look easy too. And it's like, that is not easy. Yeah.
Man, that's pretty good. That's true.
Isaac Corbett and Brandon Bailey could beat up a trap
yeah.
harp track pretty bad, dude. That'd be unforgiving.
Man, I feel like there should be stuff like that out there, you know? I think there was like a Travis Scott song where Stevie Wonder was playing some harmonica on there. And I mean, there's like so much like country trap out there without harmonica, you know?
Dude, let me in on it, dude. I'm all the way here for it. I think it's just it's fun. It's just like if you need a roots touch in your song, harmonica or banjo. You know. Don't trade them out though. Do both. You know.
Yeah. Exactly.
If anybody knows what song that is, a Travis Scott with Stevie Wonder on it, you be sure to let us know because I'm very curious.
I think, how's it called? Stop Trying to Be God or something.
Okay.
Yeah. So, what's coming up for you, like in terms of projects or collaborations? Like, what are you excited about at the moment?
I'm not. I don't have anything directly lined up with anyone else. I definitely have been a sideman for a long time. Not in terms of starving myself for anything or putting anyone else's stuff in front of mine, but I've really been trying to treat music as my discipline. Gethin is a wonderful guy to follow around and watch him work in the world. He's an old school troubadour, which is not a common thing anymore. And I've been lucky enough from, you know, when he found me, I was like just a disheveled, broken 18-year-old kid, you know. And I've been following him for the past 12 years. He's allowed me to work on my craft alongside him. And he actually pushed me physically into the Hohner booth. Is how I got signed, was Gethin. He like pushed me into the booth. At NAMM, the last year they ever had a booth there, or if they're going to do it again. But I've just nothing immediate other than I'm finally ready to take my turn, I guess, and do a little songwriting and storytelling of my own, you know. So that's what's coming up. Nothing too crazy. Just a little bit more of my living and less of other people's for now.
And have you been to Spa this year?
Yeah, I sit at the workbench. I'm the tech over there at Hohner.
Yeah.
So I sit there with my tools and all those crazy guys and whoever we have from the local music store too. That's always a treat. Whatever music shop is at Spa with us, because they're always the coolest guys. And yeah, Spa has done a lot for me. It's just hard not to wake up every day and take every moment just like with a huge helping of grace, because generationally going to Spa is just humbling. The in memoriam that they do, and all the gray hairs running around just ripping your brains out. Like, for God's sake, I'm trying to tune busted up harmonicas. I got Bonfiglio practicing all his concertos behind me for his gig that night. I'm like, I love you, buddy, but like, you're playing louder than I can test these things. He's like, I'll only be 5 more minutes. Did you know that? And I love Spa.
Yeah.
It's just, I didn't know we were all the same kind of crazy in love with this. And it's, you couldn't have that, you know. Jimmy Zednick has always said that to me. He said, you could not have bass players and drummers and guitar players and just stick to subject matter the way we do here at Spa. Like, I've never seen a more dedicated audience.
Nice. Yeah, it's time for me to go to Spa at some point.
Yeah, you got to stop by. Come on down. I think we're in San Antonio this coming year.
Yeah.
So if you're going to come to the U.S. for a Spa, you might as well do it when it's in great big old Texas, man. Hit the river walk.
The authentic experience.
Yeah, dude, we'll get you a porterhouse steak the size of your chest. You'll sleep for a week.
That sounds good. Yeah, what's some advice you would give to young harmonica players looking to develop their voice on the instrument, kind of.
Okay, let me see. Let's make sure I'm not, Okay, I got 12% battery. I think that'll last us the rest of the shot. For the young players, don't sleep on it. Because there's another young player coming up who's just going to smoke you and make it real hard to work in town. There's always going to be somebody ahead of you making those meaningful connections. So if it is your instrument of choice, you need to relish in that, and you need to respect it. You need to uphold it, because if you treat it like a study that you're putting off, it's not a matter of passing or failing. I am somebody who has been allotted an entire life from something as I used to have to steal my Marine bands, and I did so knowing it was wrong, and I did it knowing that I was, as soon as I got hooked up with the company, because I knew I was gonna work to get here, I told them I'm gonna tell them that, and they're gonna laugh, because it's just a matter of not giving up. Like and you guys don't get the options of stealing them. I'm the reason they're in the glass case, so you need some Mission Impossible gear to get there now. But my point is, don't sleep on it, because if you care about the harmonica and you put your heart and soul into it, it emotes in a way that a violin is close to the only thing in our register that sounds even remotely close to what we're doing. No other instrument can compare, and because of that, the effect that it has on people that don't play it, it's mesmerizing, it's whimsical, it's one of the last mysteries of this world. It's just an unbelievably moving instrument, and it will move your life, so invest in it, because it's worthwhile. I mean, I can't believe I'm even sitting here right now, but I am. And it's all because of the Marine Band 1896.
Oh yeah.
And I played the same ones until they stuck out like that,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's how I ended up being a tech, because you could have 20 of them, and if they're all doing that, you got to do something about it. And it comes down to even the sanding and the music you're thinking about playing while you're flat sanding your brass or resetting your rivets or doing alignment and bossing, any of it. It's for a goal, and it's to express yourself fully, truthfully, and the only way that I can do it is on a harmonica. Like, I'm a songwriter, but at the end of the day, if I don't blow off steam with all this big, loud, angry elephant noise accompanied by nothing, I'm just in here by myself doing it, then I ain't right up here. It's just a way. Devoting yourself to your instrument keeps you honest.
Oh yeah, man, that sounds pretty good.
You should know. Konstantin.
I'm inspired for my concert tomorrow night now.
Well, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we had some nice questions here too. So, like, where can people check you out online? Like, the only two links I put in the description up until now are Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah. And that's about it for me right now. I've got I've got the Scarlett interface out right now. I got the condenser. I got the laptop. I mean, it's on low battery, but I should just cut a record and put it out. It's not like we're not all ready to do that at any given time. It's just I kind of needed to wade through some messier waters for a little while and see if some things were worth using in certain environments, and I guess I'm just now I'm only 30 years old, and my guys in my family, we're around a while, so I got another 60 years to work on this stuff. I got time. I'm just getting started. I feel old, but I'm not. Instagram is the best place to get news from me right now, and whatever Hohner shares with you guys,
Yeah. Nice. So yeah, everybody, check out the description box. You got the links there. You also got the info for the Trap Harmonica Challenge there, which is going down on Sunday at 6 p.m. German time. And we got another Hohner Live next week, on Monday already. Whom are we talking to? Man, I forgot. I gotta check. Yeah. I'm gonna talk to... Yeah, we're gonna talk to Kyle Rowland then.
Oh, yeah, man. You shouldn't even have had me on here talking about amplified tone. You get amplified tone out of Kyle. He got all the good secrets anyway.
Yeah, okay. So, that would be a good one too. So, a lot of streams coming up. And, yeah. Thank you so much for taking the time, man.
Thank you, Konstantin. It was a pleasure talking to you, man.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Hope you have a nice day. Or evening from wherever you're tuning in. Yeah. So, see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
All right, brother. Thank you so much.
My lady, you know me, no give up on you never. Wanna be with you forever, 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 forever. Oh baby, where we they go, now forward ever, backward never. Them they pray make we run down never, 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 never. I'ma get that low. Girl, you the best I know. Our next move they never know, they never know. Money go check I know. Girl, you the best I know. Our next move they never know, they never know. They never know. They never know. Without you, baby, the journey go too rough. So you know, girl, I be feeling this love. Even when I'm down, you wanna wait in this up. It's not blessing, I'ma not be luck. Baby, nobody fit there.